the thoughts that are going through your mind right now?
Talking's over.
The moment boxing has been circling finally arrived. Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather stood face to face. It didn't feel like a novelty photo op. The room tightened, the cameras leaned in, and for a beat, it looked personal. To understand how we got here, rewind. In a recent interview, Mayweather floated a Tyson exhibition, calling it massive for the sport. He said legends facing legends pulls attention back to boxing, and the money involved would be historic. Tyson responded on his podcast with a warning. If Floyd really wants it, he said, they can make it happen, but it won't be a soft exhibition where nobody gets touched. He promised something harder, with real intent behind it. Those comments alone set the boxing world on fire. This stare-down was the first proof the talk wasn't fading. Now the question's simple. Is it a spectacle or a fight in disguise?
Did it again? I'm pretty sure I would.
Now I know a fight that fans will watch for sure is you and Mike Tyson. How's training going, Floyd? Talk to me all about this as you get ready to get back in that boxing ring once again.
Well, not really training right now.
Reports say that within days of those interviews, serious talks started behind closed doors. Multiple sources claim both camps began reaching out to major promoters and streaming platforms to gauge interest. And the response, insiders say, wasn't just strong, it was explosive. Several platforms reportedly jumped into a bidding war almost immediately, a clear sign of how financially massive Tyson versus Mayweather could be.
I do numbers. I make money. You know.
The money talk is loud, but as a fan, the real pull is simpler. We might actually see Mike Tyson across from Floyd Mayweather. Just sit with that. Two men who defined completely different eras, two completely different meanings of greatness meeting in the same ring. Tyson was the youngest heavyweight champion ever, a fighter who didn't just win, he erased people with bad intentions. Mayweather retired undefeated, a defensive genius who made elite opponents look ordinary through precision and control. The idea of them fighting isn't just unusual, it's almost unthinkable. Sources say the press event itself was held privately in Las Vegas, invite only with a small group of media, a setup that suggests both camps wanted to shape the story before the full public rollout. People who were there described the atmosphere as tense the moment the fighters arrived. One insider said it didn't feel like a typical press conference, like the air changed, as if everyone understood this wasn't just a headline, it was history trying to happen in real time.
I am not going to lose. Did you hear what I said?
Thank you.
For myself, but of course, I'm still in tip-top condition, and he's a lot older now. Even when we was younger, that would have been a great matchup. But you never know.
Here's what stops you as a boxing fan. The reports say the intensity was real, not camera drama, real energy. Tyson walked in focused and serious. Mayweather carried that familiar confidence, but sources describe it as sharper this time, less playful and more pointed. Multiple people who were in the room claim that when they first locked eyes across the space, the noise dipped for a moment, like everyone instinctively understood they were watching something different. And then came the face-off that's now driving the conversation. Insiders call it one of the most intense stare-downs in recent boxing memory. They say neither man blinked, neither man smiled, and neither man gave ground, not even an inch. Word is it went nearly 40 seconds, far longer than the usual quick pose for photos. And anyone who's watched enough fight buildups knows what that can mean. The longer the stare, the less it feels like promotion, and the more it feels like real tension rising to the surface.
Did I not beat the most world champions?
Yes, you did.
Okay. And in the least amount of fights?
Yes, you did.
Who got the highest gate?
Floyd Mayweather.
Who made the most money?
You did.
Who was the most accurate fighter of all time?
You were.
So it's basically saying that...
The greatest of all time.
Okay.
Here's how it reads as a fan who understands both men. Tyson's power is still legendary, even at 58. Against Roy Jones Jr., you could see that when he lets his hands go, the force is still there. But Mayweather's defense is timeless. He retired undefeated because he rarely gets touched clean, especially not by anything he doesn't see coming. So when you picture them squared up, it becomes the purest clash in boxing, offense versus defense. And by every account, that face-off captured the contrast perfectly. Tyson looking like pressure and violence, Mayweather looking like control and escape.
Same. We're different people. So Floyd likes he likes glam. He's very glamorous, and this is what he liked. And I was very savage. I wasn't that savage, dark, malevolent aura. You know, I was just never the fly, slick black fighter. You know, I was just very serious, and I was just very hard and mean. I didn't like the slickness. It was all about hurt.
Sources say Mayweather spoke first at the press conference, framing everything through legacy, his unbeaten record, and the way he solved every style across an entire career. People in the room claim he specifically pointed out that power punchers have been trying to hurt him for decades, and none of them succeeded. Floyd's message was familiar but direct. When the skill level is high enough, skill beats power. And as a boxing fan, it's hard to dismiss that. Mayweather didn't just say it, he proved it for 20 years against champions, punchers, and pressure fighters who came in believing they could be the one to crack him.
I beat more fighters that's in the Hall of Fame than any fighter in history, and that's true. That's truly a blessing. But he's a tough competitor, and I take my hat off to him. You want to run it back? We could run it back twice, 3 times. It is what it is. I was born to be a fighter. I'm gonna die a fighter.
Then Tyson took the mic, and insiders say the energy shifted. Not loud, worse. Reports describe a calm, measured tone that somehow felt more intimidating than shouting. Sources say Tyson drew a hard line between welterweight power and heavyweight power, talking about what happens when a man who's never been hit by a true heavyweight finally feels it. And as a fan, that's a fair point to wrestle with. Mayweather built his career in weight classes where he could manage the danger with distance, timing, and defense. He's never had to deal with that kind of raw force coming from a heavyweight frame.
It's not gonna last much longer. He's improved a lot, yes, he did improve a lot, but he's not gonna have a good night.
Here's the part people keep circling. During the Q&A, a reporter reportedly asked Floyd if he's worried about the size difference. Sources say Mayweather dismissed it outright, arguing size means nothing if you can't land clean, and that his defense will neutralize any power Tyson brings. He's also said to have reminded everyone he's made bigger, stronger fighters look foolish before. And technically, that's true. Mayweather has fought men with physical advantages and turned them into shadows, making them miss all night and pay for every mistake. The question is whether that same formula holds when the size gap isn't inches, but an entire weight class.
Common sense is Mike Tyson, Floyd Mayweather in the day. You look at the size difference between these two. Mike Tyson would eat him alive. But now he's 59 years old, and that style suits a young man. It doesn't suit an old man. Floyd Mayweather, even though he might be smaller, he'll be the one that's got the movement. He's got he's still got the run craft. It's like me getting in the ring with a 14-year-old kid that doesn't know half of what I know.
But Tyson's reported response is what sticks, especially if you understand heavyweight boxing. Witnesses say he made the point that everyone believes they can avoid power until they're in there, feeling it. And he allegedly drove it home with one idea. One clean shot changes everything, and Floyd has never experienced what a clean heavyweight shot feels like. Insiders say the way Tyson delivered that message, calm, certain, and unhurried, made the entire room lock in. That's what makes this matchup so compelling as a pure boxing fan. It's a strategic chess match with real consequences. Floyd's blueprint is obvious. Stay outside, use the feet, make Tyson chase, and burn his gas tank. Exactly the formula Mayweather has used to dismantle aggressive fighters for 2 decades. But the counter-argument is just as obvious. Those pressure fighters didn't carry Mike Tyson's kind of one-punch eraser. Even older and slower, Tyson's power is still the kind that can end everything in an instant.
But when you put them together at their age, given their history, and given the fact that I don't think Floyd's gonna have the energy to move the way that he did before, you could get a more entertaining fight. You can get more of a back and forth scrap, which is what a lot of people wanted. And it's not a guarantee that this fight goes the distance, given these guys' age and where their punch resistance are, where their current punch resistance is, and you don't know. At 40-something.
What keeps this matchup unsettling is the speed question. In their primes, Mayweather was lightning with his feet and hands. Tyson was explosive in tight combinations. Now, both are older. Both have lost steps. The question is simple and brutal. Who lost more? Reports from Tyson's recent sessions say his hand speed still flashes in short bursts, that familiar Tyson snap showing up in compact combinations. Mayweather, meanwhile, has stayed active through exhibitions, and the footage suggests he's still sharp on the mitts. Quick reactions, smooth timing, clean mechanics. For anyone trying to forecast what this looks like in real time, the speed comparison becomes everything, because speed is what keeps you safe when power is in the room. Sources say the stare down at the end of the press conference is what pushed it into another gear. Promoters brought them together for final photos, and witnesses describe a tense, nose-to-nose moment with neither man giving an inch, jaws clenched, eyes locked. That kind of body language usually isn't for show. It's what you see when both men are taking it seriously. But there's another detail that changes the tone. Multiple reports claim Floyd described this as an exhibition, entertainment for the fans. Tyson, on the other hand, kept stressing that when he fights, it's always real. And that philosophical gap matters. If Mayweather approaches it like controlled sparring while Tyson approaches it with real intent, the risk isn't theoretical. Somebody can get hurt. And if one man is walking in with heavier hands and fewer breaks, it's hard to believe that somebody would be Mike. Even the talk around training camps reflects two different mindsets. One built on control and precision, the other on pressure and impact. And that's what makes this feel less like nostalgia and more like something unpredictable, where the rules only matter if both men agree to follow them once the bell rings. Reports say Mayweather emphasized what you'd expect: speed work, defensive drills, and the familiar routine that kept him sharp for 2 decades. Tyson, by contrast, reportedly talked about power training, explosive movement, and work with elite fighters meant to prepare specifically for Floyd's style. And if you follow camps closely, that contrast tells you how each man sees this. Floyd is preparing to control. Mike is preparing to crash the system. What stands out in the insider accounts is Tyson's demeanor. Witnesses say it never changed. Calm, focused, unmoved by anything Mayweather said. Floyd, meanwhile, was described as more animated, talking more, moving more, working the room. Some read that as confidence, but longtime Mayweather watchers know the other side of it. When Floyd is truly comfortable, he's often quieter and looser. The extra animation can signal something else: edge, urgency, or the need to seize narrative control. And then there's the historical weight of the moment. Two icons from different eras and weight classes finally standing across from each other in the same storyline. Yes, they're past their primes, but skills don't vanish overnight, and power doesn't disappear on command. Tyson can still generate force. Mayweather can still operate on timing and defense that looks almost unnatural. That's why the boxing world feels electric right now. Social media is flooded with arguments about who wins. Younger fans who grew up on Mayweather's undefeated run lean hard toward the technician who doesn't get hit. Older fans who lived through peak Tyson still believe in the ultimate equalizer: heavyweight power. What stands out in the insider accounts is Tyson's demeanor. Witnesses say it never changed. Calm, focused, unmoved by anything Mayweather said. Floyd, meanwhile, was described as more animated, talking more, moving more, working the room. Some read that as confidence, but longtime Mayweather watchers know the other side of it. When Floyd is truly comfortable, he's often quieter and looser. The extra animation can signal something else: edge, urgency, or the need to seize narrative control. And then there's the historical weight of the moment. Two icons from different eras and weight classes finally standing across from each other in the same storyline. Yes, they're past their primes, but skills don't vanish overnight, and power doesn't disappear on command. Tyson can still generate force. Mayweather can still operate on timing and defense that looks almost unnatural. That's why the boxing world feels electric right now. Social media is flooded with arguments about who wins. Younger fans who grew up on Mayweather's undefeated run lean hard toward the technician who doesn't get hit. Older fans who lived through peak Tyson still believe in the ultimate equalizer: heavyweight power.
Both arguments hold water, and that's why this feels so hypnotic as a fan. But there's another angle that keeps surfacing. Mayweather spent his entire career in lighter divisions, where his craft could control the physical terms. He's never had to live inside the kind of raw intimidation a heavyweight brings. Tyson built his legend on exactly that, imposing himself physically, then breaking opponents psychologically before the first punch was thrown. Insiders at the press conference say that reality was impossible to miss when they stood together. The size gap looked massive in person, not just on paper, and the back and forth reportedly turned personal. Sources claim Floyd referenced Tyson's past struggles outside the ring, implying life teaches you how to handle pressure. Tyson allegedly snapped back that ring experience is what counts, and that he's been through wars Mayweather couldn't understand. Witnesses describe the exchange as briefly becoming uncomfortably real before handlers redirected the conversation. Here's the honest assessment from someone who loves the sport. Mayweather should win on pure boxing. His defensive mastery, making elite fighters miss and unravel, has no equal in modern history. But Tyson's power is the great equalizer. One mistake, one late shoulder roll, one half-second of misread distance, and a single shot can rewrite the entire night. That's what makes it compelling. And that's what makes it scary. Because this isn't just nostalgia. It's two men in their late 40s and 50s flirting with real combat, where the consequences don't care whether the contract says exhibition. Tyson's power doesn't care about age limits or exhibition language. If he lands clean on Mayweather's chin, the consequences can be severe. And that isn't drama. It's physics and biology. That's why combat sports doctors routinely raise concerns about matchups like this. Reports say the press conference ended with final statements from both men. Mayweather reportedly spoke at length about legacy and proving himself again. Tyson, by contrast, kept it brutally short, something along the lines of, "Actions speak louder than words. The ring will reveal everything." Witnesses claim the room reacted more to Mike's brief message than Floyd's longer speech. People close to both camps believe this is likely happening. Sources say financial terms are being finalized, and an official announcement could come within weeks. For longtime fans, it's surreal. Two legends from different eras and weight classes potentially sharing a ring for real. But the rule set will decide everything. If there are tight restrictions, limited power shots, strict breaks, heavy control, it tilts toward Floyd. If it's allowed to resemble a real fight, Tyson's chances rise fast, and reports suggest those rules are one of the biggest negotiation points right now, which tells you how seriously both sides are taking the risk. The size gap is impossible to ignore. People in the room say Tyson looked every bit the heavyweight, while Floyd looked like what he is, a welterweight legend. Skill and speed matter, but size has its own gravity when the disparity is this wide, especially against a naturally powerful man with true knockout genetics. For more boxing updates, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss what comes next.